Hey everyone, just want to go over my Gzemnid, whatever you can call it, trial build. Um, we're running two different types of builds in there, mostly Thaumaturge just for the buff, for swath of destruction for the group. But I'll go over Thaumaturge this one, and then I'll make another one for Arcanist as well, just so you get both right. I think both builds are very strong. I think Arcanist is probably a little bit stronger with the single target at the end or overall, but Thaumaturge has a lot of utility, right, and a lot of burst damage for the artifact calls and all that fun stuff, right? Especially during ice phases and all that stuff. So going over the build, um, pretty much everything is dragon stuff. A few different things. Obviously, the weapon set is from the new trial. This is only good in Underdark, really. Anything outside of Underdark, you'll just use the regular uh, Mastercraft for the group buff. But we usually run like supports run Mastercraft and then DPS run this in the new trial. Just a little bit more damage, right? And then we're good to go. But after this trial is gonna, or the next mod comes, whatever comes with the new trial or dungeon, we'll be switching back to Mastercraft, pretty much, right? So I think of accuracy combat uh, armor kits, just because this will change, right, depending on what you are. Using the mighty Vambraces, it has nice with the damage resistance, right, and then you get hit. You get hit quite a bit in here, especially in P4 and P6. Um, you're gonna be using the increased damage to 5%, right, overall. But any other choice is fine. You have the Fade, right, the Mastercraft ones. That's pretty much it. There's not many other good choices. The recharge ones, I guess, whatever. It's okay, but these ones are pretty much probably better than the rest, right? Boots, the crit severity boots, other wizards run a few different ones. I see Rest Iron Leggings is a good option as well. People still use it, but I just tend not to run that kind of stuff. Just keep the chances of surviving up there. But a lot of DPS run those, and it's not an issue. Um, Other good choices, the Wasteland Wanderers. If I get uh, what's it called? The dash ring. When you dash, you get increased damage. I'll have to get some combat advantage somewhere, and I'll be switching over to the Wasteland Wanderers. But until that point, and then, but either one doesn't really matter. These ones are nice. These are pretty much free in the Dragon Seal store, right? In the Seal store, the Dragon ones. So it's good to go with that. Mitzelaar set, Beholder Ring, awesome. Beholder Ring is such a good ring because the hard phases, right, and the phases that really truly matter in the trial, you're gonna do more damage, right? In P2, right, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. It's all Beholder stuff, right, and it's good to go. I just got this one the other day. It's nice to get the actual, what's it called, bonus set, right? You do 2% more damage to bosses, and then you tax have a 10% chance to deal 100 extra magnitude damage, right? So it's nice. But if you don't have these, the what's it called? MTOS rings are good. The combat advantage one, right? And then the crit strike one, which we pretty much be using outside of the trial as well. Uh, that's pretty much it, right? If you don't have those ones, right, the crit strike ring from the dragon set is still really good as well. Artifacts, it all changes, right? I'm leveling up the what's it called? This one for another 1500 artifact and stuff like this, right? And if I get, I've been selling the Wand of Destructions, but if I get another one, maybe I'll keep it. It's just the price is a lot, but a higher item level is really good, right? And it's good to go with that. This one is accuracy. This will change, right, depending on what you have, and then just the boots, right, the critical strike ones. Uh, Int and charisma. This you may want dexterity, but pretty much int charisma or int dexterity depending on what you're doing. As you can see here, combat advantage is really high. It's just because both rings give me 6100 and 4600 crit strike, right? And this will adjust once I switch the rings because the dodge ring has accuracy, which is really nice because then it'll bump this up a bit. But this one is pretty much capped because of the Sun Lords, right? And then the new Mystic Aura that gives power and accuracy and stuff like this, right? So everything's pretty much capped. Accuracy, with everything procced, right? Because I have probably like 78-ish% accuracy, just because I don't have the crit strike ring on. But if I had the crit strike ring on, right, I can switch over this to accuracy. Then I'm around like 84, 85-ish, which is pretty awesome, right? And stuff like that. But everything else is maxed. With Raptor Group, my consumables, Flask of Potency, Watermelon Sorbet, and then this one doesn't. This one will change. I use chocolate just because I don't need it. All my other stats are maxed anyway, so it's kind of like a waste to stat. You know, the movement speed, the Stompicade, awareness, the defensive ones. Like, but if you're low on a whatever one you are low on for offense, if you're not the rating's not capped yet, just run that as well, right? And then it's good to go with that. And then Sunlords, right? This could change depending on if you're down. And obviously, I run Watermelon just because it's cheaper. And it can still do awesome damage, and you make a lot of AD selling squash soup. And Summer Festival is coming up, so it's good to go. These ones obviously going to change depending on what your build is. The new lightning enchantment. This one can change. I run the action point gain just because sometimes during P4 and P6 you may not be getting attacked as much, right? You're jumping up and down, jumping over the lines and stuff like this, right? I like the extra action point gain just because I know it's going to be up during the artifact calls when you switch over to P7 and all that, and then all that fun stuff, right? I just enjoy the action point gain, especially during mob phase as well and stuff like that. But you can run the movement speed one is really strong, being able to move, or the recharge one, right? It's up to you, and good to go with that. All right, powers. I ran Ray of Frost, and I run Chilling Cloud just for like ice phases or the add phases in P1. But you can switch. I know a lot of people do the Chilling Cloud Magic Missile cancellation, which is cool. It's just not my playstyle. But if you master it right, you'll be doing more damage overall. So it's awesome for you if you want to do that. I don't care to do that. I just like to run Ray of Frost and then pop that up, and good to go with that. I ran Ray of Enfieldment in R1, helped the group. The decreased target outgoing damage stacks. So if you have 3 of them, right, it'd be like 17.5% decreased damage, right? So it's kind of a big mitigation, right? Usually in my groups, there's like 1 or 2 of us that run it. But if you were going to run it, you can run Fireball in R1, right? It's really strong. The cooldown's very low, and it's good to go. And then Entangling Force, right, to Repel, and then Icy Rays. If you want to run if you don't want to run Fireball, right, you can run Icy Rays in R1, and then you can run Chill Strike. Chill Strike has a higher magnitude than Entangling, but Entangling, right, you get an extra proc on it. It does more damage overall when you have the Arcane stacks up, right, and stuff like this. But I know a lot of wizards will run R1 Icy Rays and then Chill Strike, which is all good. They all do a lot of damage, right? But I suggest running Ray of Enfieldment if you're a wizard in there. It helps the group out, right? And then buffs some damage output and mitigation. Ice Knife, and obviously Arcane Singularity for the add phases. And then I use this a lot during P3 when we have ice phases. It helps, especially with Directive Flames on. You see a trillion numbers pop up, right? Though that ice is just disintegrated, right? Especially during Chilling Cloud in between, right? It's awesome. It goes away quickly. So I usually save in P3, I usually save this for ice phases if there is one, right? For Hallister or Palpavorian. And then, what's it called? Zvoidberg and Valindra. But I forget his name. I forget the actual name. I saw him Zvoidberg anyways, so it's good to go. Critical configuration, and then Swath of Destruction for the group buff, and then the extra smolder procs. Awesome. I know if you want, you can run Orb of Imposition over Swath of Destruction, or you can run Chilling Presence. It's up to you, right? But I like to buff the group, and that's my choice. But honestly, it doesn't matter. It's up to your choice, right? Of how you want to be your personal damage, right? And then or the group's damage. It's all good, right? And then down, up, down, right? And then these ones can switch depending on what you kind of like. If you want the chill stacks for extra damage output. It's just hard to get because I'm not running Squash Soup, so I use Critical Burn. I need the extra crit severity right within it with not running Squash Soup. And honestly, these are very close anyways. This one probably outweighs it by a bit, but honestly, it's up to you. Try it out, test it out, and see what you like. And then this one, back and forth, they're both really strong. Both are probably really close to each other. I like Directive Flame just for the smolder procs, especially during ad phases, right? And then ice phases, and just keeps on ticking, right? It just keeps on ticking, going from, especially during artifact calls and stuff like this, right? It's very strong, but honestly, Rhyme is awesome as well. So it's up to you. Boons, everything's good to go with this. I tried the rejuvenation potion that Gus did, and I had the purple debuff on me, and I redline instantly, and I died. But it's because there's just so many. You can swap this out for life or whatever else, right? It doesn't really matter. But these are the main ones. The main ones are sorry, the different ones you can choose. You can choose the forte over action point gain, right? But honestly, everything's capped anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I like action point gain and recharge speed. And then there's only one that is really useful. It's just the bloodlust in there. Guild ones, this can change depending on what you're missing. This one will change between these two, right? Or between whatever you're missing. And then revive sickness. I run all accuracy ones. This can switch to whatever your build is. Precision, this can switch, right, depending on what you're running. I have the war drummer till it is what's it called? Nerfed. I know they're nerfing it shortly, right? But I'll go back to what's it called? Probably pseudo dragon when everything's good to go with that, right? It's still strong and helps with the combat advantage up by like 50% of the time, right? So it's good to go with that. 3 damage comps. If I know some wizards run more accuracy based ones. Was it Geralaxle? I forget, there he is right there for 7.5% accuracy. That's strong as well, right? But I find the 3 damage comps overall really strong, and it's just the way life works, right? I may have to switch this if I do get the dodge ring. I may have to switch this to something that I'm missing, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Raptor, and then Alchemist Discipline, right? This one can switch to the cat, right? If you're missing in combat advantage, right? There's one, I think it was like the last mod that had like combat advantage accuracy, which is a cool choice as well, right? Alchemist is just so nice for a go-to. I'm running 4 insignia ones, 2 Lionhearts. The receive hit points and stamina is awesome during the points, right? And then Mendo's Covenant for the extra offensive ratings, assassins, and then Artificious Persuasion. These Artificial Persuasion I find really strong, right? And we're good to go with that. And then there's a Rough Ashel Diamonds, right? Critical severity, movement speed, stamina gain, and then encounter power, right? The biggest ones are encounter power and the crit severity. And then we're good to go with that. Tunnel vision of whatever sorts that you want, right? I like quick action for the extra, like I said. Sometimes you're not attacking, especially if you have purples out and you're kind of waiting there. At least you get some of the 6% of your 6% of your total action points gained over 10 seconds. Kind of helps out with that. But a lot of people run Veracity, which is very cool. Or maybe you're missing a stat, right? And you need the extra ratings. It's all good, right? And you're going from there. But like I said, this is the Thom build I run in there. It's very strong, right? And just your play style will obviously dictate your overall damage. But try it out. Let me know what you think, and then enjoy the new trial.